So let's understand how do we perform the SQL activities into the Blue Prism. So if you want to perform the SQL activities, so we have to import the VBO. So VBO stands for Visual Business Object. So we need to import the VBO data hyphen SQL server. Okay, this is a VBO which we have to import. Now, before moving on this SQL activities, let's understand the concept of SQL. Okay. So, there is difference between SQL and SQL Server. So, SQL is stands for Structured Query Language. Okay, and SQL Server is basically database. Okay, which is SSMS, that is SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, this is a Microsoft product. So SQL Server is basically a database where you store your data, and SQL is a basically query language, that is a structured query language, which helps to fetch the data from the SQL Server Management Studio. Okay. Now SQL is RDBMS, that is RDBMS means Relational Database Management System. Okay, SQL is RDBMS. So if I talk about this RDBMS concept, that is Relational Database Management System, so if any software is launched into the market, so every software is not the RDBMS. Okay, so actually Professor Coates has given the 12 rule for RDBMS, and he said out of 12, if any software follow or meet the 7 rules, minimum 7 rules out of 12, then that software will be considered as a RDBMS, that is Relational Database Management System. Yeah. So we have a more software regarding RDBMS, that is MS Access, we have SQL Server, we have Oracle, we have IBM Teradata. Okay, so we have a different tools. Okay, so now let's understand about this MS Access. So what exactly happens in MS Access? If I talk about, so MS Access almost followed the 7.5 rules. Days followed 9.2. Oracle followed the maximum rule, that is 11.5. So because of that, this Oracle is a strong database into the market. Now here what we have to do, we have to go for this SQL Server activities. So if you open the SQL Server, so actually there are two kind of authentication in SQL. So we have a two kind of authentication. One is as Windows authentication. Second is SQL Server authentication. So let's see what is the difference between both of them. So Windows authentication means you are not connected with client server. It means you are connected with local host. Okay, it means you are not connected with the client server. Okay, so it means the SQL server which you have installed in your laptop, so your laptop will be considered as a server. Okay, so all the data will be stored into your local desktop only. Okay, so in case if your laptop get crash or if there will be something problem in your laptop, so if your laptop will get crashed, so you will not be able to recover your data. But SQL Server Authentication means you are connected with client server. Okay, you are connected with a client server. So in company we basically do work on a SQL Server authentication, because all your work which you perform into the SQL Server, so all is going to store on the company server only. Okay, now if you will log in through this SQL Server authentication, so for this SQL Server authentication, the login credentials are required. Okay. So let's see what login credentials. That is login name and password. So these login name and passwords are related with your server only. Okay. So this will be provided by the company. But if you are working on your local host, so you need to select your Windows authentication, and there is no required of this login credentials. So once you will enter the login credentials, or if you log in through your local host, so you will see the environment of SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio. So
Anup,
in the
hello.
left, yes, yes, please.
Can you can skip this SQL one because currently I have working in SQL DBM.
Okay, okay, fine. That is, I
Basically,
don't have any.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
fine. So let's see how we are just going to get connect.
yeah.
So here, what you have to do, you have to import the VBO. Okay. So once you will import your VBO, that is data-SQL server. Okay, you have to import this VBO. So now let's connect on this. So here, if I open this SQL server, so through the Windows authentication, I'm logging through. So this is my server name. So let's see, just drag this, double click on this, and here, if you go data-SQL server, so you can see all your SQL server actions over here. Okay. So now if I just want to get the data into the collection, so I can just go for get collection, or if I want to execute any kind of a query, so I can go for the execute. Okay. So let's see how we are just going to work on it. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to create the connection over here. Okay. That is nothing but a set connection. So if you will select this set connection, okay, set connection, so it is asking the server, database, username and password. So let's see your server name. So this is my server name, and now it is asking from which database you want to get connect. So let's see, I'm logging into server. Now I expand this one. Okay. Now suppose I have this one. Okay, TSQL Sunday batch 11:45 9. So I have this database, so I'm taking this database. Okay, now username password, so I'm connecting with the local host, so username and password is not required. Okay. Now fine, click on OK. So my connection is ready. After the connection, I want to fetch the data. So if I'll drag this action over here, double click SQL server, and here if you just go, so here you can see get collection. Okay, if I click on this, so now it is asking me the query. Okay, so let's see, I have one database over here, this one. Okay, so here I have this database. So I have this database where I have 160 records. So I need to fetch this data into Blue Prism. So here I will write the query, select star from store database. Okay. Now it is asking where do you want to store your result, in which collection. So I'm just going to store into this result collection. This is your get collection. Okay. Now let's connect to this link stage. Reset this one. Let's execute. So now here you can see you have total 160 records. Okay. Now you can see you have total 160 records over here. Okay. So all the records have been fetched successfully. Get collection. Okay. Now I'm creating a copy of this one, duplicate copy, get collection, and I'm just putting some where clause over here. Okay. Suppose I do not want to fetch all the data. I just want to go for some stores only. Suppose I just need to fetch only Reliance Smart store. So I can put the query where store name is equals to Reliance Smart. Now click on OK. Now OK. Now if I'll execute this one, so now you can see. Okay. Now here you can see all the data from the Reliance Smart only. Okay, look this one only. Okay. Now save all the Excel activities, you can perform it over here. For example, if I say I just want to go for the data where the plastic amount is between 120 to 140. So let's see the between operator I'm talking about. So here I will put where last check between 120 and 140. Now click on OK. OK. Now let's execute this one and see the result. So if I execute this one, go into current values. Now here you can see the plastic amount, which is nothing but between 120 to 140 all. Now you can see. Now here we can also use the in operator. In operator. So here, if I just need to go for suppose store name in, I am just fetching suppose Big Bazaar, comma Reliance Smart. Okay. Now click on OK. Now OK. Now if I'll execute this one, so here you can see you have 67 records. So now here you can see the Big Bazaar and Reliance Smart only. So this is nothing but a in operator. Okay. So you are aware from the SQL queries, so you can just perform this activity. Now let's see if I talk about this join concept, or let's execute into in CSV. Okay. So I'm just going to click on new, get CSV. Okay. So output I'm just going to store into CSV file only. So just drag this section over here. This is your set connection. Data hyphen SQL server. Just go with a set connection and let me take the connection name. Connection name, and this database name is this one. Okay. Now drag this action, double click, get CSV. Okay. So data hyphen SQL server, and here you can just go for get CSV. Now it is asking write your SQL query. Suppose I want to fetch all the data. Select star from store database. Okay. Now go into output. Now it is asking your CSV. Okay. Now you can see the text data type. Okay, for this data item. Now if I execute, this one, so here if you will go here, so now here you can see in current value, if you will click on this, so now you can see, okay, all the things, all the data, now you can see. Okay, so get CSV is nothing but that is your plain text file, that is notepad file. Okay, so now you can see in your notepad file only. If you are using the get CSV, so it will show the result into your CSV file only. Okay, this one only. Now if I want to store this into your CSV file, okay, now you can see it is showing as a character over here. Okay, now this is get CSV. Now I am talking about get CSV file. So let me rename this one. This was your, okay, get CSV and get CSV file. Now here go with the get CSV file. Look, it is asking query, and now it is asking the file, the result which you are going to store into your CSV file, where you want to store it. So suppose I say I just want to store over here in this folder. Okay, here I just want to store this one. So I'll just go here. This is the path slash, I said, store database dot CSV. Okay. Now click on OK. Go into output. That is perfectly fine. Now, as of now, you can see there is no CSV file. Let's execute this one. Now you can see it's done. Okay. So if you go here and see store database CSV, just open this one, and let's see we have 160 records around. And this one, now you can see total you have 160 records. Okay. Now you can see all the records has been captured successfully. So any kind of a query you can store it over here. Okay, so for example, if I just want to go for a join concept, okay, I'm creating a copy of it. The file, this is join concept. So let's understand the join over here. So basically I have two tables. Suppose I have team1 table and I have this training table. Okay, these two tables I have. So here you can see in team1 we have an employee ID, and here you can see in training table we have this agent ID. Okay, so I just want to go for the inner join concept. So I just want to fetch the common records and I just want to store into CSV file. Okay, so what will be query over here? Suppose for example, from this team1 table, I just want to fetch, for example, I said team1 dot employee ID, comma, team1 dot employee name, comma, team1 dot designation, comma. Then from training table, training dot domain, comma, training dot trainer underscore name. Okay, from team1, I just want to use the inner join on training table on the common filter team1 dot employee ID equals to training dot agent ID. Okay, so this is my query. So if I execute this one, so now you can see the result. So this result I just want to fetch through this query. So let's copy this query, go here, let's pass the query over here. In double quotes, just pass your query. That's it. Okay, fine. Validated, expression is valid. Okay. Now I'm changing the file name. Say inner join output. Okay. Now click on OK. Now OK. Now let's execute this one. Now done. Okay. This is not required because this is not impacting. Yeah. Now let's go into folder. Open this one. Oh, why the result has been not filled? Let's see. Multiple expressions. Select. Expression is valid. Why it is showing error? No, that's it. Okay, fine. Okay. So now you can see this is your inner join data output. Okay. So now you can see the inner join. So same as you can also use the rest of the SQL queries. Okay. Through which you can fetch the data and you can store into collection and you can pass into your Excel file, or directly you can store into your CSV file as well. But now suppose through this I just want to get impact the table which I have into SQL Server. Okay. So for example, I have one table here. For example, I have this test 4. Okay, I have this database, and under this database I'm just going to create a table. Let's see, create table, suppose say a student. I have a student ID which is integer, identity 1 comma 1. I have student name is varchar. Then I have student course. Okay. I have student email. I have these many fields. Okay. Let's execute this one. Okay. Fine. Now select start from this one. Let's execute and see. Okay. Now this is created. So now what my requirement is, I just want to insert the record in this table through the blue prism. So let's see, just create a duplicate connection. Okay, just rename this, insert record in SQL table. Okay, now just go with this connection and go with this database. So my database name is test4. Okay, now if you want to write a query which should impact your SQL table, so here we have an option that is known as a execute. So click on execute and here you can write the query. Okay, so this query will impact your table in your SQL server. So let's see, I'm going to insert a record. So here, what query we are just going to write? Insert into name of the table, student, values, then we need to pass the name. Okay, suppose in the, then or says blue prism, and then the email ID, suppose gmail. Okay, this is for testing purpose. Now let's copy this one, copy this query, okay, and pass it over here in double quotes. That's fine. Validated expression is valid. Okay, click on OK. This is your execute. Insert record. Now click on OK. Now let's see if I execute this table as of now. So you can see we do not have any records. Now let's execute this one. Now it's done. Okay. Now go into SQL and execute this one. Now you can see. Okay. So your the query has been passed your SQL server and this is updated. Okay. Inserted, you can say. Now, for example, suppose if I have few more records over here. Yeah. Now these two I just want to pass. So just copy this one. Okay. I'm just going to create a duplicate record. Go here. Okay. Just pass your query in double quotes like this way. Okay. So now you can see if you, now you go through this one. So now you can see. Okay. So this is considering as a one. So let's see what will happen. Okay. So if I go with this and now if I execute this one, so now you can see it's done. Now execute this one. Now here you can see. Okay. So all your records has been entered successfully. So this is a concept how you can insert the record. Same, we can just go for the update record. We can just go for the delete record. So if I just want to update, for example, this the first name as Ravinder, I just want to update this name as a Ravinder Singh. Okay, so I say update table name set student name equals to Ravinder Singh. Okay, where is to Ravinder Singh, where is to ID equals to 1. Okay, so this is my query for update. So let's copy this one, creating a duplicate record, update Okay, this is your update record. Go here, pass your query into double quotes. Now okay, now okay. Now let's execute this one. It's done. Now go here and execute your table. So now you can see the Ravinder Singh. Okay, your first name, student name. Okay, so this is basically the concept how you can go for the update, delete, insert, or any of your SQL query in your Blue Prism. If you want to interact your Blue Prism with your SQL server, so this is basically the concept through which you can get connect. Okay. Now here, suppose if your work has been done, so what we can do is if you go here, data SQL server, so here you can see as we have this set connection over here, we have a get text. Okay, if you go for this get text, so in text file you can just store your result. That is nothing but somewhere the same as a get csv. Okay, then here is execute. So execute, which I have told you just now. If you, execute is basically used when you want to write something query into your Blue Prism and that query should impact into your SQL server. So execute will be used over here. Okay. Now then we have a begin transaction, we have a rollback, we have a commit. Okay. So this is nothing but a TCL commands. So as you said, you are aware from the SQL queries. So I hope you are aware from this begin transaction, rollback and commit transaction also. Okay. Now that then we have this get number. Okay. We have a get number of query. So for suppose if I talk about this get number here, suppose I write something query select start from. Okay, let's see from where we are just get connected. Okay, so this is our table. Okay, fine. Select start from this one. Okay, result fine. Okay, so I'm just making some change over here because this name is already updated. So I'm just updating, suppose Ravinder again. Okay, which contains the ideas one. Now let's connect all these. No error. Let's execute. Let's see. So now you can see the number of records, the current value. Okay. So how many records is impacted. So if this command, if you will put down over here where we have, put fetch the 160 records. So in result, it is going to print as a 160. So this get number is going to tell you that according to your query, how many records has been updated. Okay, or impacted, you can say. So that is nothing but a get number concept. Okay, so here you can see the get record affected also. So for example, if you have written something, let's see, create a duplicate copy of this one, get affected. Okay, okay. Okay. So I'm just taking a table over here. Now let's see. So here I'm just creating a duplicate copy of this one. Okay, I have created this copy. Now let's execute this one. So you can see. Okay, so now what I have to do, all these courses I just want to update as a Blue Prism. Okay, so what will happen, you will write like this query. Okay, like this is set is to course is equals to blue prism. That's it. So let's see, I'm just going to put this update query over here. So drag this, update records. Okay. SQL Server. Now get records affected. So now you can see it is asking through the queries that how many records are affected. Okay. So number of records. So you can put the query also over here. So let me put down here also. So I'm just putting over here. Okay. I can, uh, drop that command. So just you can delete it. So this is get records affected. Okay. So let's see. Just connect this one. So we have total 3 records as of now. Okay. So let's see if I am executing this one. So now you can see it is showing 3 records affected by your query. Okay. So if you want to see that how many records has been affected, so we can get the data from here. So now you can see through this query. So now if I go into SQL Server, and now if I'll execute this query, look, I have updated into this original student. Okay. So if I'll execute this one, so now you can see all has been updated as a blue prism. So through which you can also identify that how many records are affected. So that is nothing but your get records affected. This one. Okay. So we have all these concepts related with our SQL Server, which you can use it. So all your SQL queries you can perform through this data-SQL Server. So here you can see the configure. So configure is basically use raise exception of any failure. So for example, if you say if any exception is happening, or if your query gets stuck, or for any failure, if you want to raise a message, or if you want to raise a kind of flag, okay, so for any failure exceptions, so you can just go for this one. So this is basically the action which is going to capture any kind of exception of your SQL server. Then we have execute, collection, get number, get text, rollback, and set connection. Okay, so all these commands are basically related with your SQL server. So is it clear, Ravinder? Okay, not an issue. So I hope everything is clear, right? Or if you have any doubt, so you can write into your chat window if you have any doubt. Okay, perfectly fine. Okay, fine. So as you are aware from the SQL server also, so I'm just going to give you some more assignments regarding this SQL server. Let me show you. Okay, let me save it also first. Save. Okay, so I am giving you some joins, SQL joins assignment. SQL joins question. Okay, fine. So I'm giving you this SQL join concept where I'm also giving you the tables. So just read your SQL questions, and for every questions you have to store all the results into your separate table. Okay. So here is basically you have two tables, that is employee detail and project detail. These are two tables. which you have to create into your SQL server in under any database. Okay, and all these are a questions. So here you have all these 5 questions which you have to perform. So just read all these questions and try to solve it. And all the questions should store into your separate CSV file. So you can make the name as a Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and Q5, the file name. First question result, second question, and third, and so on, so forth. Okay. So this file is also I am going to share with Ajay, so he will share with you. So just try to complete it, and if you will have any doubt, so we will just go ahead. So and any doubt if you have in last session or in today's session, if you have any doubt, so please let me know. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, sure. So I'm just going to share this file with Ajay. Okay, so he will share with you and just try to solve all these stuff. And if you will have any challenges, so just ask into your next session, or you can drop your query to Ajay and he will forward me, and I'll just provide the one-stop solution to him, and he will share with you. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ravinder. Bye.